This conference will now be recorded.
Good afternoon. This is Wednesday, August 23rd at 5:35 p.m. This is the Finance Committee. I'm calling this meeting to order. We have here with us Treasurer Sally Bennett, Trustee Julie O'Rourke, myself, Trustee Jeremy Graham, and a visitor, although as he has been appointed and approved.
I believe so.
Yes,
Not
Trustee.
sworn in yet, right?
Yeah, you have not been sworn in, but soon to be Trustee Riley Pitney. All right, there was no public comment that was signed up for, nor is anyone here. Any disclosures of conflict of interest? No. Moving on, can I have a motion to approve the minutes from July 19th?
I'll make the motion to approve the minutes.
All right, I will second. All in favor? Julie? And I say yes as well. That's approved. So usually we'll get our minutes and you'll read them beforehand and things like that. So moving on to the discussion here, we've got bank reconciliation for July. It was fancy red, white, and blue. I saw those very nice there, Julie. I'm sorry, Sally. Julie, did you see any issues with it?
So you didn't have anything lost, did you?
No, and
No.
I found that 106 from the previous month was actually, I'm glad you brought that up. For Rivers, we pay for the buildings in the village, the sewer,
Mm-hmm.
and that's an automatic payment out of our account. But my beloved Assistant Rachel accidentally cut a check and it was pulled out of our account. So it wasn't something that was glaringly obvious until we received the bills with all these credits. like,
So
what is
she
this
paid
about?
with a check and they debited.
Yes. So that's what that is, and that should go away at the end of the month, in August. Another thing you can see on the O&M side, there are a lot of duplicates and utility payments, and that's what actually took me so long to go through. We are short a person, and we have a new person. And we also think there may have been a glitch in the software because there were several duplicate payments. And
What kind of payments are you talking about?
a combination, but the majority were credit card payments.
From our new system?
Well, yeah, from both. But it's not simple to reconcile those, and I am going to be working with Encode to try to get a report that I can put into Excel. Because when someone pays with a credit card, there's a 4-day processing wait. But then we get a notification and those get applied to the general ledger. And then then some of them hit the bank. So if there's at the merchant, credit card, they have an end of day thing that they process, and that's an amount on a report. And then the bank, some of that goes through, some of it doesn't yet. And then we record it. So all that has to be matched up. And I did it, but it was a lot this time because there were some mistakes. So that's my explanation.
But, so you think that's something that can be fixed? I mean, this isn't gonna be an ongoing thing, is it?
Well, the way that the reports that I'm aware of now work, I would have to data enter all that into a spreadsheet to be able to easily compare it. So my goal is to try to get something that can be converted to Excel, because both credit card merchants that we're using right now, I can convert that information into Excel. But then I would have to hand enter everything from our general ledger, which is about 1,400 payments. Well, not all of those are credit card, but a good portion, about 25,000 of it is. So that's where we're at. I talked to Kelly about it. There really isn't anything on their process that they can change to make it better for me. So I'm gonna go after Encode and try to work it out that way.
Okay, so why, I mean, obviously more people are getting involved with this new program. Have we just not noticed it the last few months because there's so little people?
Exactly, I
Okay.
was able to, because those do come in on the, bank statement, it clearly says Global Pay, which is the new, credit card, process, but, so I was able to find everything else and just save those for last. And when it was just a few people, it was kind of simple to resolve, but the combination of more people, mistakes, and duplicates was just, it was a lot. So, there's gotta be an easier way.
Have we reached out to some other municipalities that are using this?
I don't know of any, but maybe I could, ask Encode if they have
Because we can't be the only ones having this problem.
I don't know, and, maybe some other ones aren't reconciling, I don't know, but, I don't see that as a barrier to progress, I just see it as a challenge to, figure that out, so.
Can we put that on the agenda for next?
Next month, yeah.
Next finance meeting.
Absolutely. All right, let's move on here. Our next item on the agenda is credit card review. So based off of what I'm seeing here, we have the new credit cards in play, and this is our actual usage.
And it's a 2-pager, so if you
Yes.
scroll down, there's the other one.
Sorry, all this is credit card charges, or just use financials, so if you remember, if that makes sense, or the examples, why are we charging stamps, that doesn't make sense.
The police cameras came in and the security cameras for this building. So we split the security camera costs 3 ways between O&M, police, and general admin because they're all part of it,
Do we have any cameras down at the public works branch?
not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
But because central operations for the utility billing is here, it makes sense that some of it would come out of their funds.
And then you see here, we got the department heads of each, so this would be for police, this would be for admin.
So you said, police cameras
So you
came in, but I don't see anything on, this would be on this credit card again. Checks or?
Yeah, I don't think they're on this credit card, but I saw cameras and I just
Okay.
kind of said that.
So right now-
They're actually in
so
these
the-
boxes
so this is-
back here
okay.
behind
This
us.
is the checks and balances. So there's
And then
no
on the credit cards,
flags or anything.
the credits, the whatever, the money that we're gonna use at Amazon and all that, we have a method of showing that to the board, tracking it and counting it down as we spend it and all
I
that.
believe we do. I don't think Kelly has done it yet, and I was actually gonna talk to her about that tomorrow because we should probably do that consistently to the end of the year at least and, get that done. And I wish some of these things would have been used that way, but I think we're looking at July charges and the board finally approved that in August, right?
Oh, okay,
Which one's that?
using the points to,
Yes.
So,
Yeah, because we had to do that fancy paperwork.
and I just asked her, about a tracking mechanism to keep the board apprised of the countdown, as we use those points. I know Mary had commented about that, that has to
Like
be
little
transparent and,
Yeah, the asterisk next to it, used point, at the bottom.
yeah, however you wanna do it.
and I can go on the website and do a printout that shows the number of points we have. So maybe that can be included with the spreadsheet to show we're using them and.
If it's something.
Less work, the better.
Yeah, I mean, if it's an easy printout, then absolutely. Otherwise, if we just throw a little asterisk on, it costs $0, so we use points, like, cool, we're using our points. I don't think anyone's looking
Well,
further
and-
than that.
There's very little activity, so I don't think we're increasing the number of points. I think we're just going to be then using them. So should be kind of easy to see it from both. Angles.
Points, we decided to use them for office.
Okay.
All right, moving on then to the, oh, and then one last thing with the credit card though. Everyone's under the village, going great, no problems at all.
So far.
Okay,
Mhm.
perfect. Moving on to the budget then, 2023 budget.
I had just looked at the July, what was presented at the board and just pointed out that, in the overall budget for general, we're at 58% of the year on July 31st. And in the general fund, we're at 45% in revenue and 45% in expenditures. In MFT, it's 62%. Yeah, 62% of revenue, 62% of, that doesn't make sense. Community development was 39%. Okay, I'm gonna have to look because my note doesn't make sense.
There's a bunch of things. It's negative, essentially, this one here is the revenues, so tell you how much we're making of tax.
General was
CLT,
45,
sales tax, use tax, property taxes.
MFT,
And what we're looking at. So
yeah,
essentially,
62,
this, for
62.
example, is we made about 50.
In community development,
And based off of this, our
we've
projections.
received 39% of our budgeted revenues and spent 16%.
Contract.
O&M, we've received 35%, we've spent 38%. And the 4th of July, we've received 47% and spent 98%.
So then how does that shake out if we're not making?
Yeah, we would have to discuss that. So I was looking at this earlier, and with the sales tax on the revenues, we have through July, and correct me if I'm wrong, so there's the budgeted and the projected and the budgeted.
Mhm.
The projected is based off of our current trend, where we're gonna end up roughly, and then the budget, of course, is what we thought. So under the sales tax, I see us down 38, and then the 1% sales tax down another 50, or 55. Is that right? Am I looking at that correct?
I think
38,000.
he's saying basically that we have in the budget 470 and we're projecting 425. But
Do you have 425? I have 415.
415, yeah. 415, 843 in sales tax.
are you guys looking at the new one?
Looking at whatever you sent us in the email, it says 415.
The one that was separate?
This was in an
'cause that
email
has-
with all of the attachments.
This has the August expenses, but the one that was embedded in the finance report is from July.
These are July.
I provided you individually what I've collected so far in August
In an email or?
in the email.
And the big one, village revenue summary 2023.
It's called Village Revenue Summary
Yep,
2023.
I got it now. You know, I thought when I was looking at it, there was two different ones, but I was like, there's no way, I must have looked at that wrong. Okay. So, yes, so 470, 425, 571, and 600. So closer, so we're 30, 40.
But we
so
should
still
be
about 70.
67%.
But
Yeah.
But the projection formula is just based on a 12-month, on a 12-month thing, everything being equal, but you can see in all of the past that not every month is perfectly equal. So we may have some, like for instance, next month, looks like was bigger last year than the previous month. And I think it's probably a combination of fuel, things that are summer related.
So it looks like the way we come up with projected is we take the grand total of 283 under sales tax, are you on that?
Mhm.
Divided by 8 months and then times 12. So you just
Yes.
annualize the 8-month trend. And that's how you get
Exactly.
425.
And we do tend to go up in revenue as we get closer to December.
And these amounts that so I provide this on this chart as, the cash basis, the month that we receive it, but that's actually from 2 months ago.
Okay. But what I noticed, Jeremy, and this goes with what you're saying, if you look at the comparisons of the first 4 months of the year versus the first 4 months of the prior year, we were running ahead, and then every month after that, we were running behind last year. And that's what I noticed at the board meeting, but I didn't really say anything. I mean, it's not that alarming yet, but it's
Correct.
I
So
noticed.
I guess, is there something that we need to be looking at, that we need to be, Sally Joe, being more conservative with until we get a better shakeout? Are there any more? Yes.
Well, I guess one thing to consider are the ones that are well above what we projected, or what we budgeted.
And of course, we have the ARPA funds, things like that. I'm not worried as an actual going under, but trying to stay with our budget.
Right. The overall general fund fiscal projections at the very bottom, we're at 73.5%, and the budget is only at 58 point something percent. So we're actually, and this isn't everything, this is just the taxes.
Correct.
So that tells me that we're doing just fine.
Okay.
I know that, income tax is going to have a bump up. I don't know exactly the reason. It's something to do with the way that they collect income tax and PPRT tax and, corporations and their deadlines and things like that, but I've been told multiple times that we should see an increase of 4% on the income tax this year, like next month. So it looks like year over year, we're doing a little bit better than we did last year. And it looks like we're already projecting out like 50 grand more in income tax than what we budgeted. So things like that, I think
They balance.
kind of balance it out. But I do know that one of the businesses in town has stopped paying sales tax due to the owner being incapacitated. And I went and looked just to kind of get a feel for what we would be looking at without their sales tax. And it wasn't a big hit. I would say probably the maximum we'd be missing is about $250 to $300 a month in the overall scheme of this. And that's including both taxes. So that made me feel a little bit better. I don't want to I'm not allowed to say what it is, but you'll probably figure it out at some point anyway. But I was expecting that it would be a lot more than that. So I think maybe what they sell that I thought were high ticket items are probably just like sold by a third party that they're representing.
Okay. All right, well, I guess really just wanted to make a note that we want to be paying attention to this, obviously, and seeing how things go as we get closer to the end of the year. But it does tend to shake out in the end. Yeah, ebbs and flows.
Thank you for looking at my report.
All right, anything else regarding budget? Grant updates. I haven't, we keep looking at it here, but there's lots of red, so I assume the red are new items. They seemed, is that true?
Yeah, it's kind of the conversation, the latest.
So lots and lots of grants.
I was at the Public Works meeting, so I just wrote in there what Chad Insco said about the Access
Yes.
geospatial. And, the camera grant, I contacted Nick today, and he is estimating that they will receive somewhere in the 30,000 range, but he doesn't have anything for me yet.
He hasn't heard more, that's just from his initial, or has he heard more?
Well, it was a text, he didn't really say, I just said, do you know how much it's gonna be? And he said around 30,000.
And it,
So,
correct me if I'm wrong, because you both would know this, it wasn't a lump sum, it was small increments of the next, okay.
yes,
I think it was over, was it 5 years? 90,000 over 5 years.
so it's like 16 or 18 grand a year, so that's.
Yeah, there might have been some upfront that was a little bit bigger and then a smaller 5 year.
How much total was, how much we used, how much is left, what we used it for, what we're planning to use it for.
But they showed me the cameras and it's kind of like a box that just gets stuck right here. And it's probably about this height.
This
Oh my God, that doesn't look very fun
Yeah.
to wear.
Yeah, I think that's what that is, right?
Correct. But there's part of the process.
Or yeah, it's been up there forever.
All right, any other discussions on grants?
No.
Thank you for updating it. All right, our favorite one, software upgrades. Where are we at on the transition with the postcards?
We're
What?
still waiting for the employee that's out for surgery to return so that we can implement the new process.
Okay. Have we, I did not check myself personally, is there a full bill on the website yet?
No, I think it's directly linked to the paper bill that we're going to print.
Okay,
That's the latest that I know about it. I did mention it, I was telling Jeremy before the meeting, I talked to Tyler Technologies today about Jeremy's question with the credit card fees. And is it all or nothing, either the customer pays all or we pay all, or is there some way to split the merchant fees? And how it works, I think the way that they do it, they call it a surcharge. And so our system, Tyler, the Tyler Technologies software that we have, we would be charged the merchant fees, but then we would charge a percentage of the bill back as a surcharge. So he is going to call me back tomorrow. The people that he needed to get details from, one was on vacation, another person was gone for the day, and so we just kept hitting dead ends with the questions, but
You know, go ahead, finish up.
I just said, well, I wanted to know if it was possible at this moment, and he's like, yes. So.
What if we just, 3.5 should cover every MasterCard and Visa and Discover. American Express is the stinker, right? Can we just say American Express is not welcome here? In all seriousness, that would simplify it rather than us pay 1%.
I would agree.
Just say we just pay Visa, MasterCard, Discover, no American Express, and then we don't have to dinker around with.
And then we just charge a flat 3.5%?
I know you were gonna kind of poke around and see what most vendors were charging. Did you get a chance to look at that? Like Visa, MasterCard, Discover, what their exchange fees were?
I actually have something in my desk that I could get that I think would tell it. Let me just run and do that.
Well, the nice thing, if it's really 3.2, it ends up going back to the village and back to them
Yeah,
anyway. So,
everybody's doing it now, restaurants, all of that, 3.5%.
yeah. And I don't blame the restaurants, although it kind of destroys the purpose of getting the.
I learned how to use a debit card. I carry more cash now. People laugh at me for carrying cash, but I went to Sullivan's the other day and everything was down and they said they were only accepting cash. I came in with my wallet.
Very nice. So. There's an amount, there's an average, there's a discount rate, and let's see, these,
I don't know, Discover's $3.75? Is that what that says?
I assume Visa's the most expensive. Is that correct?
I don't think that's the percentage, I think that's a dollar amount,
Yeah.
fees. So I think these are separate fees that get added to the percentage fees. That's page 3 of 4.
So we're paying all these now?
Yes,
I talked to him, yeah, I'm just gonna go tomorrow.
and we just started paying the $1.25 too. So I don't
It's just.
think I have a
I'm just
printout of
building
that
that
yet.
For a guy off of Weldon, but I was like, it's getting late, it's also 100 degrees out. I was like, just stay inside.
I mean,
We can look more into it. We're not ready to start charging yet.
just a thought, though, if American Express is the only one.
No, it's definitely a good one. Put the little stickers in the window.
With the Ghostbusters?
Yes.
Okay, but, yeah, I'm sure I have a better chart somewhere.
I think you sent me that, I need to still go on there. And are we at a point where we can suppress the statement altogether then, and sign up for e-statements? Or we are going that way, right?
Yeah,
That-
absolutely.
That was the discussion that I was asking about the full being
Oh,
able
the
to.
full page one, that,
the full-
okay, we'll wait for that.
Yes. And I don't remember, what's the ETA of her recovery? I know everything's
I
going
know
well.
she's been coming back for shorter days, but I don't know when she's full-time back,
That's fine.
full-time, part-time.
Yes, All right, moving on to iDrop then.
Is that called, yes.
It's so nice looking at that small report.
So this list is everyone, business or individual who's delinquent on the water bills. And so 30 days delinquent, 60 days, 90 days, over 120 days delinquent. And this list used to be 30. People who moved away, maybe deceased in Oregon, whatever it happens to be, and so we're down to just a couple here. And that's really what we're looking at, just want to see, because this is all revenue we should be having, that we could do things with. And then part of this process, we don't do it, part of the process is the door knocks, and they'll, hey, turn on the water, we don't pay, go back and then turning off the water and putting lien on the house, all those things are options, and this is just kind of a. Julie, anything?
Nope.
All right. And there was no air and water. Again, hopefully there won't be any more air and water, period, but no air and water. Anything under new business?
I just wanted to mention that, the department heads have started putting their budgets together, I believe, and I'm going to be working the rest of this week, trying to get the revenues figured out and entered so that we can immediately see, once we receive the expenditures, where we're at.
And I'm sure it's gonna be perfect. Take one meeting.
Yes.
I did also notice under the new business, you sent the village administrator description.
Yes. And, that was sent to the admin team and, the employees that are included in the admin team as well. It's 7 pages long, it's a lot, it was reduced from multiple other agencies' job descriptions that we received, and I basically pared it down and then Kelly reviewed it and we talked about it and we added a couple of things. One of the things that I added was reviewing the attorney bills. Those come in 6 months worth of bills and we usually only have a day or two to turn them around, and I'm excited to have a buffer for that process. But that's one of the things that I added that was not in there. I'm open to paring it down from the 7 pages, but from this point, I would like, elected officials to look at it and tell me what to do.
Is there anything specifically, so thank you, and I looked at it, I do like it, it's everything that we need.
I think so
I
too.
have questions.
Yeah, so
In the yellowed range of pay, that was one of the reasons why I included it in the packet.
that was my question, is what specifically from the finance committee would you like us to discuss?
That to me seems like it's right on track with the others that I collected. Chadinsko also got the job description from the city of Byron. His wife works there, so he was able to get that, and that village administrator is at 110. So that was right in line with some of the other ones that were on the list.
Julie, did you want to ask those questions?
Well, they're not necessarily finance related, so we don't have to do it here if we don't want.
But I do appreciate it, and we will look this over as elected officials, and we'll discuss it later.
One other thing, that there was an admin team meeting. I swear I'm not having a stroke.
It's pretty hot out there.
It is hot. And there was, the major discussion was step pay, and all the department heads were there. Police were already on board, but Public Works is on board. We're gonna, Adam created it, they're fine tuning it. And then we decided that we should probably implement the same process for our part-time administrative people. Because even though they're part-time, they're kind of full-time part-time, because they work 32 hours. It's not, part-time in police could be sporadic, like once in a while working or just for events or things like that, whereas the ladies here in the office are here Monday through Thursday at a lot of times, and it's not sporadic. So we felt like they would benefit from a step pay chart.
Is 32 hours still considered part-time legally?
I said 32, I don't know if it's 30 or
I
32.
think 32 is a full-time position by corporate world. I don't know about municipal world,
I
but
think
don't
they
it's-
work 7.5 hours a day. I think it's 30, now that you say that. And maybe it's because they could alternate in the 2-week time period that our paychecks are, as long as it equals 60. I
Is it
think,
what we budgeted for, 30 hours for those two?
yes. Actually, it says in here. Three, because of also Rachel. It doesn't say, it doesn't say that in the notes, it just says what percentage of the fund they are. But that is what we budgeted.
All right. Any other new business? I did not see a need for executive session. Anyone else? Nope. All right. Our next meeting date, we've planned all the way through December. But just for the record, it is on, here it is, September 27th at 5:30. Okay.
works for me.
Are there any items that, I don't believe so, there's no items that we need to bring to the board at this time? Because we need to find a few more answers before we can bring it. All right, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
I will second, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? And that concludes the meeting. It is 6:10 PM.
Wow.